Greetings from the TMS. We are excited to present you the final work for CFE Research Challenge. The subject of our research is Detskimir company, and our main objective is to give a recommendation about investing in this company. We are ready to give a buy recommendation for Detskimir company because of its stable growth, unstoppable development, and creating the real value for its customers.
Today, Детский Мир is a well-known children's good retail chain in Russia, and it has made an IPO in 2017. The share of Детский Мир reached 17% now. There are more than 500 stores located in Russia and Kazakhstan, and group is going to expand the number of stores by 300. These stores provide a large variety of categories of goods, such as goods for newborns, toys, clothing, and shoes, and so on. Not only the wide range of goods is attractive for customers, but also affordable prices. That is the reason why Детский Мир has become the leader in Russia. One of the most perspective business line is online stores. Group has been developing it since 2011. And today, the share of Детский Мир in this market reaches almost 7%.
Market analysis. Now, more than 24 million children live in Russia. The market of children's goods is experiencing different impacts associated with a difficult economic and geopolitical situation. Negative factors of influence: a fall in the solvency of the population, a decrease in real disposable income, a transition to a saving consumption pattern. Positive. State measures contribute to an increase in the birth rate, the trend of import substitution stimulates domestic production, and the weakening of the ruble makes Russian goods more competitive in international markets, stimulating exports. The market is dominated by large online stores working with long-term planning. Because of the current high birth rate, the priority of 2020 will be a segment of clothing for children from 5 to 9 years. The increase in the population in this age group will be 16%, while the segment of goods for newborns may suffer, because the trend of increasing fertility to reduced by 2020 the population growth will be 8%, less than in 2016. Another aspect of this trend is that the level of children's age is declining. If before people bought toys to 14 or 15 years, now to 10, then gadgets. By 2020, the share of domestic producers in the children's goods industry should reach 60%. The volume of the children's goods market in Russia in 2016 exceeded 0.5 trillion rubles.
Now I will tell about financial analysis. Let's start from horizontal and vertical analysis. Total assets have been continually growing for the last 4 years. The average growth rate is 38.31% every year. In 2016, total assets increased by 14%, from 79 billion to 44 billion. The average growth rate of current assets during the last 4 years amounted 135.75%. In 2016, it increased by 9.6 billion. Here with share in total assets increased by 14%, from 60% in 2015 to 74% in 2016. However, in the current assets present both positive and negative dynamics. The share of cash and equivalents in the balance sheet decreased from 5% in 2015 down to 0.02% in 2016. All cash and equivalents were used to pay dividends. Total receivables increased by more than 1 billion. The share of net increased from 6% in 2015 to 8.62% in 2016. However, that is due to the increase in current assets in general, as the share of receivables in total current assets changed only 0.2%. Some receivables could flow from long-term note receivables. Long-term assets increased in 2015 to 5.3 billion, retained its share in the total assets at the level of 37-39%. In 2016, long-term assets fell by 4 billion, reducing the share in total assets by 13.82% to 25.21%. Both change can be considered positive. The growth of long-term assets in 2015 because of the growing property plant equipment by 119.21% from 3 billion to 6.79 billion. This increase was associated with the opening of new stores. The decrease of long-term assets in 2016 because of the increasing in long-term note receivables by 81.75% from 5.8 billion to 1.1 billion. Let's move to the ratio analysis. For estimate the performance of Детский Мир, the average of the leaders of the Russian retail business, it is X5, OK, Magnit, Dixie, Lenta were used. ROA is 8.54%. It is more than average value, 5.78%, but less than Magnit's ROA, 16.6%. ROS, return on sales, is 8.29%. It is the most value on Russian retail market. ROA has no sense to be calculated, since total equity is a negative value. Детский Мир's solvency ratio is extremely low, 0.12. Average value among the competitors 2.35, and minimum value has Dixie 1.59. Cash ratio is about 0.0002. It's not typical for retail because average among competitors 0.18 and average for the country 0.13. Debt to equity ratio and interest cover ratio are negative value because total equity is negative. This is not an ordinary situation because all main competitors have positive values of total equity, debt to equity, and income interest ratios.
The Детский Мир company has been valued with two basic methods: discounted cash flow analysis and multiple analysis. The first method was applied to the forecasted free cash flow for 4 years. The forecasts were made aligned with the company's annual report, operational capacities, and trends in increasing efficiency. The target price is 120 rubles, which is 21% higher than the price for the 15th of January. We also used multiple enterprise value to earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, as it has various advantages. It is independent of changes in the company's capital structure and suitable for companies with different financial leverage. This analysis had led us to 20% discounts comparing to enterprise value of the Детский Мир peers.
Investment risks. When implementing the growth strategy, the company may face risks leading to a worsening of the situation, which should be taken into account. 1. Macroeconomic risks. Although the economy predicts GDP with growth of 1% per year, but in reality the situation may be worse, which will lead to a recession in the company. 2. Currency rate volatility risk. The company makes major operations in rubles, so it's heavily influenced by such factors as lower oil prices and weakening of the ruble, which will lead to an increase in the cost of sales as the company imports 60 or 70% of its goods. 3. Opening new stores risk. The financial performance of the new stores may be worse than the old ones. 4. High competition risk. Many hypermarkets conduct an aggressive price strategy, working at a loss, which is very difficult to compete with. Also, high competition with online retails, there the Детский Мир varies. 5. Low sales risk. Weak demand for goods, lower store sales. It may happen that when opening new stores, there will be a flow of already existing consumers in them. 6. Pressure on profitability. Planned and stalled value of profitability can be achieved through large investments in price, and therefore need to find the right balance between this index and the growth of same-store sales. 7. Seasonality of business risk. The largest sales are in the stores falls on the last quarter of the year. 8. Renting and place risk. A limited number of available in the lease premises in large shopping centers, their difficult search and growth in rental rates. 9. Arrests of shares and lawsuits risk. In 2017, AFK Sistema was involved in legal proceedings. Детский Мир shares and other assets of AFK System were arrested as part of professional measures that significantly affects the company's stock capital.
Now we are ready to finish our presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. See you later.